Hey guys, how you going? Okay, let's get into this. Okay, Natalie, Denise, let's go back to Madonna again. Oh dear God, you won't ever see them mocking any other faith. Now watch this. Let me just see if I can get this. I don't think I can play the... I'm not sure. But look, just watch what they do. Okay, supposed to be Mother Mary with swords through her heart or something. This woman is awful. That's blasphemy. Vanity Fair. So they're sticking by Madonna because apparently Trump's nephew breaking Madonna accused of child trafficking removes all posts from Instagram. When will the Hollywood sickness end? Okay, Elon has lifted the shackles. It's all over the place. Gateway Pundit said Madonna accused of pornography and child trafficking in Southern Africa. Ethiopian World Federation uses president of Malawi to conduct investigation. Let's have a read of this one. Okay. Madonna, the Queen of Pop, is once again making news after being accused of running a child trafficking ring at an orphanage in South Africa under the name Raising Malawi. Madonna started a foundation called Raising Malawi in 2006 to help orphans and other underprivileged children in Malawi get access to healthcare and education. Malawi is a southeast African country bordered by Zambia, the United Republic of Tanzania, and Mozambique. Raising Malawi supports orphans and vulnerable children with critical resources including education, medical care, food and shelter, and psychosocial support, according to its website. These allegations against the 64-year-old pop singer were made by the Ethiopian World Federation, the EWF. It was established in the United States in 1937, according to its website. It's a civic service organisation that pushes policies and advocates to change the laws that harm all black people. The EWF has urged Malawian President Lazarus Chakwera to look into homosexual and transgender allegations regarding the adoption of Malawian children for possible human trafficking social experiments, according to All Africa. In opening the investigations, the Federation is also asking Chakwera to look into the integrity of Madonna's Malawi charity, Raising Malawi, and restrict her and her associates' accessibility to Africa and to African children as a precautionary measure until a thorough investigation is done into child trafficking, exploitation, sexual slavery, adoption reversal, threat of coercion, fraud, deception, and abuse of power or vulnerability, the outlet added. Twitter user, it's Natalie Denise, has more on the story. Ethiopian World Federation has made a surprising petition against child trafficking and fear of social experiments rendered on Malawian children. More accusations to resurface. Read on, she wrote. A thread. Ooh. Should we click on it? According to the RaisingMalawi.org, the intent behind the org is to support orphans and vulnerable children with critical resources. Yeah. I had to look up what psychosocial even meant. Hold on to this because it will probably play out within the EWF's concerned. Involving both psychological and social aspects. Relating social conditions to mental health. EWF is asking to look into the intricacies of her charity. There is concern over the integrity of her organisation and possible intent to exploit children. Specifically, child trafficking, sexual exploitation, sexual slavery, adoption reversal, threat of coercion, fraud, deception, abuse. Okay, we did read that. EWF cites that back in 2006, during her adoption case, she should have disclosed her 1992 softcore porn book titled Sex. You can do a search for the type of content included in that book. So this is where it gets a little dicey. Madonna had to sign an agreement with Time Warner that forbade the book, have I read this, from including CSAM, bestiality or religious imagery. She did. Then she founded Maverick, which then partnered with Time Warner. Therefore, the contract she signed was null and void, giving her full content control. Sex caused a lot of controversy, attempting to normalise taboos, even implicated themes of bestiality. So with this, a bit of history known, let's take it back to the EWF according to Nyasa Times. The psychology behind her ability to release child pornography, religious imagery, bestiality and vulgar pornography has prompted her to open an orphanage in Malawi named Raising Malawi in 2006 to host social experiments on vulnerable African children in Malawi. They also allege that Justice at the time, Fiona Mawale, who presided over Madonna's 2006 adoption application, seemed to be super sharp in questioning about her intentions and motives for twin girls. Hold on, more for the girls. In determining her motives, I questioned the petitioner at length about the impact of her decision, which could be construed as robbing Malawi of its most precious resource, its children. Judge Fiona Mawale. Okay, now we're going to transcend through a more elaborative look at the Malawian children that Madonna adopted, which could illustrate the EWF's concerns a bit more vividly. Secure your wigs because it gets sad and infuriating. We'll start with baby David Banda, adopted 2006, the same year she founded Raising Malawi. What caused me to even look closer are newly surfaced allegations by David's biological father, Johan. This little child. Oh, poor kid. In newly surfaced allegations, according to the EWF, she, Madonna, falsely accused David Band's father of being absent when she was applying to adopt him. Even noted here in this 2006 People issue, Madonna's adoption drama. Note the captions on this spread. Local human rights groups and some of the boy's relatives raised question over the legality of the adoption. Did people elaborate? I couldn't tell you because all that we have is that snippet on the right. Oh, wow. Poor little kid. Here's a closer look at it. Whoa. Madonna had only seen a snapshot of David Banda and had learnt only basic information about him when she and her husband Guy Ritchie flew to the African nation of Malawi on October the 3rd, but when the singer arrived at the Home of Hope Orphanage Centre and met the 13-month-old boy, says Madonna spokesperson Liz Rosenberg, it was love at first sight. Adds a witness, the look of pure joy on her face was beyond words. Not unlike when her children Lourdes 10 and Rocco 6 were born. About a week later, even as a storm of controversy was brewing over the planned adoption, Madonna's happiness was echoed in a dimly lit room of the High Court in the Malawian capital of Lilongwe. The pop superstar 48 and her director husband 38 met for the first time with David's dad, a farmer named Johan Banda. Through the translator who spoke Banda's Chikewa language, she asked lots of questions, says Banda 32. How old I am, what I do for a living, everything. Madonna also made promises to provide Banda's only child with a loving home and to bring him back to Malawi to visit. For the singer, the face-to-face with Banda marked a turning point in an almost year-long effort to adopt a child from an impoverished nation where she helps fund 6 orphanages. Oh dear. I think it's going, trafficking. Johan, father, spoke publicly about his concerns in 2016 when Madonna split with ex-Guy Ritchie. At this time, her teenage son Rocco refused to go back home with her, which was curious. He's worried about the welfare of his child following her public fallout with the other son, Rocco. Johan even claimed he didn't even think Guy, Madonna's ex, was interested in adopting David. Catch that last sentence because it's going to set a pattern with the rest. She promised me she would give him a good education and then he could come home to live with me. Nyasa Times, Madonna is being accused of using David Banda for sexual exploitation and social experiments today. Pictures are awash on social media of David Banda wearing female clothes, makeup, and wearing earrings, whilst the two are holding hands like two lovers. Oh, that poor kid who grew up to this. Oh dear. Let's move on to her next adoption, Mercy James. This one really infuriated me to infinity and beyond. Oh no. Shortly after adopting David, Madonna petitioned to adopt Mercy but was rejected. She hired a team of lawyers and took it up to the Supreme Court, and after another appeal, she won. Mercy's grandmother, Lucy, gives a heartbreaking insight. It was following the death of her teenage mother, but I think this is the grandmother. The adoption raised strong public reaction because Malawian law requires would-be parents to reside in Malawi for 1 year before adopting, which Madonna did not do. In addition, she was in the process of legally separating from second husband Guy Ritchie, citing irreconcilable differences. Mercy was placed at Children's Village following the death of her teenage mother. If you know me, you can imagine how I received this information. It's true, I'm a freedom fighter, I'm a feminist, I'm a rebel at heart, but I am also a compassionate, intelligent human being. And if you cannot give me a logical reason for the word no, then I will not accept the word no. I hired a team of lawyers and I took my case to the Supreme Court, and it was not an easy battle, Madonna said in her moving speech. Oh dear God, so it's one of those. Okay, I thought that was going to be the grandmother talking, but no, it's Madonna. Okay. Lucy's daughter died shortly after giving birth to Mercy, earning very little selling fruit, and Mercy being sick when she was a baby needing extra care. Lucy opted for that care at a local orphanage until Mercy's immune system grew stronger. Mercy's family claims that they let Madonna adopt her up until grade school age, then she would be returned. Also that they would return back to Malawi to visit every 2 years. Madonna did return back to Malawi with Mercy. But Madonna never took Mercy to visit the grandmother, despite the grandmother being on her deathbed pleading for a visit. Absolutely sent me to tears. Oh no. Madonna's a horrible woman. I mean, we knew that, but I mean, that's horrible. New Madonna family dispute. Grandmother to Madonna adopted child Mercy makes heartbreaking plea to meet her granddaughter. Madonna's lawyers evidently admitted this argument and coldly resulted themselves that Mercy's family had no legal right to see her. The fight illustrates itself here and is absolutely heartbreaking. Madonna knew, and she refused dying grandmother's wish to see Mercy. Wow, they have no legal right to see her. Civil Liberties campaigner Emmy Chinika conceded after threatening legal action no visitation rights were included in the adoption agreement, which saw Mercy James leave Malawi for a new life with Madonna 52. Oh my goodness. Remember the pattern I told you to take note of when David's father made that statement? Read Mercy's family account of what Madonna's camp allegedly tricked them to believe. They say they were guaranteed regular contact with Mercy James, now 5, when the 52-year-old adopted her from an orphanage in June 2009. There was no such agreement, Chinula said. It's not a legal requirement at all, he urged Chinika to advise the family on the proper way to approach the issue. Mercy was surrendered to Kondinani Children's Home Orphanage outside Blantyre after her 16-year-old mother died in childbirth. Bennett said the family initially resisted the adoption. He relented after assurances Madonna would bring her home regularly, he said. I was the one who signed off the adoption papers, said Benetti, who ekes out a living hawking an assortment of garden products in his town of Thondway, east of Blantyre. She told me herself she didn't want Mercy to cut ties with her roots, that she'll be bringing her home regularly. Emmy Chinika is a civil liberties campaigner that tried to represent Mercy's family. Look at all this banter it took the family to make in order just to gain any visitation. Just look. Last week, Miss Chinika said of the case, Mercy's family have met me several times over the past year and they've been very upset. They have a strong recollection of being told they would be able to see Mercy and have regular contact with her, and that when she is an adult, she will return to live with them in Malawi. I believe they have a case in law because there appears to have been a verbal contract between them and Madonna's representatives. I've already consulted a lawyer on their behalf. Obviously, there could be problems as there's no written agreement, but the lawyer is looking into it. I'm preparing a letter which will appeal to Madonna's lawyer, Alan Chinula, to intervene on the family's behalf and ask Madonna to kindly let Mercy meet her family. None of us desires an embarrassing, expensive court case which could humiliate or inconvenience Madonna. The best outcome would be a proper agreement to let Mercy meet her family on a regular basis. Yeah, why does Madonna not want that? Is she worried about them telling them, children telling them things? The entire article, read it. I'm furious at this point. I don't think I want to read that. Oh, I feel sorry for them really badly. And thus we move on to the adopted oh no, Esther and Stella, the twins. Madonna's taken my girls forever. That can't be true. Pictured for the first time, twins' father breaks silence to tell MOS he didn't realise adoption was permanent. Oh dear God. I feel sorry for those children so badly. I can officially confirm I've completed the process of adopting twin sisters from Malawi and I'm overjoyed they're now part of our family. I'm deeply... who else? Do you remember the twins experiments? Does anyone remember them? They liked twins. I wouldn't put it past her, honestly. I'm deeply grateful to all those in Malawi who helped make this possible. I ask the media to please respect our privacy during this transitional time. Oh my goodness. Adam Weil, a biological father to twins Esther and Stella, didn't realise Madonna would be whisking his daughters off permanently. Another similar account compared to David's father, where there were claims of him being an absent father, or rather that he abandoned his girls. This says, speaking for the first time, Madonna began the process of adopting the twins. A 40-year-old farmer dismissed as lies in a court contention that he had abandoned the girls after their mother died in childbirth. His village chief backs up his account that he was told the girls would be given an education then returned to the family to be able to live with them and help the family after being educated. Dear me, oh my goodness. He was told that Madonna would be like a foster mum to the twins and encouraged even by the orphanage boss to proceed. He claims that the courts lied about him and his whereabouts as a father and after his wife's death. Kayembe village chief Quell attested the community supported Adam in his troubled time after being widowed. The twins survived. I wanted the hospital help, but they said the orphanage was the best place. Everyone in the village knows I just wanted the best for them. The chief said that despite being poor, the local community had tried to help. He added, Adam was sad and troubled at the time. We supported him as best we could, but no one he has very much. He said, I used to cycle down a dirt road, taking 2 hours each way. I bought little dresses and gifts for them, and they would sit on my lap, one twin on either side, and laugh and play with me. They called me a Baba, Daddy, in the Malawi language. Oh dear. Madonna leaving with them on a private jet. I'm pretty sure we get the drift. If this is true, this is weird. Tomorrow, ambition possible. 2008, Madonna pledged to build a school for girls in Malawi. 3 years later, the project's been abandoned. Why? A flight of grey morning doves scatters as I walk into Zaone at dusk. On the edge of the Malawian village, an elderly matriarch, Lucy Chikachiawa, eats cold lumps of cassava root. Pinned to the wall of her one-room home is a grainy photograph of a woman and child. The woman is unmistakably Madonna. The baby she's clutching is Mercy James, Lucy's granddaughter. The 62-year-old hasn't seen the girl, now 5, since Madonna took her to London in a private jet in 2009. The singer's interest in Malawi began in 2006 when she secretly visited a number of orphanages there. According to Hollywood law, she had been encouraged to adopt an African child by Brad Pitt, a close friend of her then husband, Guy Ritchie, and was said to be so moved by what she saw in Malawi, she got out a checkbook straight away, offering tens of thousands of dollars to individual NGOs. Oh yes, we're going to talk about the school Madonna wanted to build in Malawi, or 10 schools. 10 schools that she allegedly didn't ask the authorities to build. Like, why? Just why? Malawi's government on Tuesday accused Madonna of not consulting over her plans to build 10 new schools in the poor southern African state. Malawi's Ministry of Education spokesman LBRY Chide told Reuters the government was fed up with Madonna. Now she decides to announce she plans to build 10 schools without getting any authority from us. I'm stumped. What was the motive to move in on 10 schools yelling so fast without the Ministry of Education knowing? Impoverished areas, and they spent money on pay, cars, office space and a golf course membership, free housing and a driver for the school's director. Oh my goodness. Which had drawn financial support from Hollywood and society circles, as well as the Los Angeles-based Kabbalah Center International, an organisation devoted to Jewish mysticism. Oh my goodness, and it's been abandoned. Oh, look, this tells me this more and more. It's trafficking. Madonna's co-founder Michael Berg was also a co-founder of the Kabbalah Center for the Celebs. His brother was accused of some foul stuff. Separate scenario, but worth mentioning. What was he? Okay, it's been, thoughtful decision has been made to discontinue plans for the Raising Malawi Academy for Girls. Michael's brother, Rabbi Yehuda Berg, was also ordered by a jury to pay $177,500 in a sexual assault lawsuit. A woman by the name of Jenna sued the org and alleged that Yehuda forced her to take drugs and alcohol as he tried to have sex with her. She actually built the Mercy James Institute in 2006, and look at this, she's ties to the Clinton Foundation. The Mercy James Institute for Pediatric Surgery and Intensive Care at the Queen Centre Hospital was funded by Madonna's charity Raising Malawi, which she founded in 2006. Right, and then partner organisations Millennial Promise, the Earth Institute, the Clinton Foundation, Harvard University, International Medical Corps, University of Malawi. Oh my goodness. Now, why would all this information have been removed from the wiki page of Raising Malawi? The documentary screened at the Cannes Film Festival. Yeah, why? Why was it removed? These are the cries of Lucy, the grandmother of Mercy. I'm old and ill and anything could happen. I want to see her before it's too late. I'm heartbroken and think of her every day. I'm asking Madonna to bring Mercy to see me next time she comes. Please bring my granddaughter to me. It's difficult to put into words the love Mercy's Malawian family have for her. They love her so much and never intended to be permanently separated from her. For them is a battle they'll not stop fighting. Madonna needs to understand that as Mercy grows older and becomes aware of these things, it may not be good for her and all parties concerned. Lucy said most of the time she blends tears with prayers that just once I should physically see or touch the little girl. Before I die, I should set my eyes on her so that my spirit is rejuvenated. Should I really die without seeing her? Oh God, exclaimed the old lady, her face showing all traces of depression and dejection. It is a fact that during the process, Madonna promised to allow the granny and family to see the girl at some intervals. What we wonder is that each time Madonna comes to Malawi, that obligation is not honoured, and the government officials, social welfare officers, who we believe are supposed to protect our interests, don't care to link us with the pop star icon to the extent that we just hear from people or radio that she's been in the country, just like it were with her recent visit. Wow. Okay, the next one is Maddie. Maddie DeVera on TikTok made some very valid points, and opinions. Okay, what is this?
Madonna has been accused of running child trafficking in Malawi and sexual exploitation of...
So guys, can we talk for a minute? OMG, I stumbled across this and I had to stitch this because I'm like, finally people are getting it. I have been talking about Charlize Theron and Madonna for the longest. And the reason why I have a problem with these women, these helly weird women, they have been taking our African boys and bringing them to the West only to emasculate them and probably use them for their sick and twisted agenda. and they need to be exposed. Okay? My problem with Madonna, she has been parading her adopted son, David Banda, making this boy wear women's clothing, dresses, you know, the whole 9 yards. And she has a biological son, Rocco. Why isn't she not having that same energy on her biological son? Come on, make it make sense, man. Why isn't she having that energy? She's so freely going to tabloids talking about, oh, my son looks better in my clothes than I do. What the fuck? And then not only that, have you seen how young the men Madonna has been, you know, having relations with? It seems like the more men that she gets in her life, the younger they are becoming. If I'm not mistaken, I think the last guy that she had was somewhere between the age of 23, 27. And it's like, man, they're just getting younger and younger. Makes you wonder if she's not been touching her own adopted son. I'm serious. People need to start opening their eyes. And then you've got Charlize Theron as well. She adopted her oldest son, now changed him into a girl. And it's like, you're doing this for the sole purpose of trying to emasculate these boys, these black boys from Africa, bringing them here to the West just for your sick and twisted purpose. These guys need to be exposed. You know, this is so sick, and it just breaks my heart, because these kids have been taken out of their cultural environment, away from their families. All for what? They need to be exposed.
They're predators. That's what Madonna is. She's a predator. And don't forget about Angelina Jolie and Brad Pitt. To the previous tweet's illustration, this is Rocco, her biological son. Dear God, she is experimenting on them socially. This was David Banda, her first adopted child, in 2021, celebrating his sweet 16. Then, same year, 2021, started parading dresses. That's shameful. She's doing that. What's the writing all over it? And the poor, he doesn't look happy. Then 2022. Yeah, she's just a, I think she's a predator. Definitely. Angelina Jolie had this to say in 2007 on Madonna adopting David. Angelina Jolie rips Madonna's third world adoption but feels bad Madonna's taking a beating in the press. Jolie, a leader in the celebrity adoption movement, tells French magazine Gala that Madonna's planned adoption of Malawian toddler David Banda is illegal. Personally, I prefer to stay on the right side of the law, Jolie said. As reported via London's Daily Mail, I would never take a child away from a place where adoption is illegal. Madonna knew this situation in Malawi, where he was born. It's a country there is no real legal framework for adoption. Madonna and her husband Guy Ritchie have been accused of using their wealth and fame to skirt the laws in an impoverished country. Still, I've been horrified at the attack she's been subjected to. After all, all that should count as the happiness of little David, Jolie said, per Britain's Telegraph, which she also reported on the Gala interview. Yeah, I think they're part of it too. Here's what I don't understand. Each time Madonna adopted a child, there were concerns that the law was bent to allow her to. Madonna finessed the laws. She knew the laws were shady. She was trying to finesse the laws. Okay, let's read these. In a 2008 interview, the Associated Press, Madonna acknowledged the difficulties in adopting from Malawi, saying they're still trying to finesse the laws. Jumbo acknowledged the rules for foreigners were vague, regulations that require Malawian welfare officials to observe prospective Malawian parents with the children they want to adopt for 18 to 24 months have been assumed to apply to foreigners, though legislation has been proposed for making the period for foreigners 1 year. The judge said Madonna has last visited Malawi in 2008 and jetted into the country during the weekend just days prior to the hearing of this application. In my opinion, this would completely remove Madonna from definition of resident, the judge said. Critics had accused Madonna of using her name and money to fast-track the adoption, but the singer said she'd followed standard procedures. She faced similar allegations when she brought home David, who is now 3. Mavuto Bamusi, an official with Malawi's Human Rights Consultative Committee, called Friday's ruling a defining moment for child protection. Bamusi's group had been among those criticising Madonna's adoption plans, saying they reveal weaknesses in the country's law. Okay, from Madonna's own book, she's been telling us from the get-go she's in the kids. Here's an excerpt from the book, which she writes. Oh no. She said sex with the young can be fun if you're in the mood. If you're feeling impatient, you feel like you want someone else to take charge. Do not have it with someone inexperienced, but it can be really arousing. One of the best experiences she ever had was with a teenage boy. She thinks he was a virgin. He hardly had any pubic hair. He was Puerto Rican. He used to live in my building and he used to come over to my apartment all the time and just watch me put on makeup and get ready to go out. He hung around me all the time. He never went to school, so I started giving him reading assignments. I'd have him read out loud, like Henry Miller's The Tropic of Cancer or something really arousing. Whenever he got ready to leave, he'd kiss me goodbye, but the kisses started getting more and more daring on his part, and I just went with it. Being adults, should never just go with it. Then one day his parents kicked him out of his apartment. He wanted to know if he could spend the night at my house. I told him he could, but only had one bed, so we both got in it and I couldn't sleep. So she had relations with him, and she reckons it was really awesome because he was so young and so in wonderment of it all. He was fearless. He would do anything. He wasn't very big. It was just a baby. See, I'm not a size queen, but oh my goodness, I can't even read it. But he gave her crabs. Oh my goodness. I don't know. Did it just come full circle? She founded Maverick, which then partnered with Time Warner before she contracted this. Yep, the sign was null and void. With her book. More, I'm going to throw up. She describes her vajayjay and compares it to baby, fresh and full of life. Oh my God. She stares in the mirror. Sorry, I just burped. She stares in the mirror when she's undressing and wonder what it would look like without any hair, like when I was... Oh, my God. Sometimes she sits on the edge, oh, my goodness, and stare in the mirror, wonder what others see. Okay, so she plays with herself. Oh, my God. As if it couldn't get any more spicy, Madonna admits she's struggling to understand how to be a mother. I wonder why. The superstar who shocked in lingerie while celebrating Christmas with 4 of her kids also conceded that it isn't always easy for her offspring to deal with her unconventional approach to parenting. Growing up with a mother like me is a challenge, the 64-year-old declared. No one gives you a manual, she continued. You have to learn from your mistakes. It's a profession that requires a lot of time and it's exhausting because there is never rest. The twice-divorced diva is mum to Lords Leon, 26, Rocco Ritchie, 22, David Bander, Siccone, 17, Mercy James, 16, and 10-year-old twins, Esther and Stella. Interesting. Malawi is with this person here. I want my son back, Johan Bander. Johan Bander, a biological father of Madonna's adopted son David, has vowed to stage demonstrations in an effort to force the pop star to bring back his son. She's not doing a very good job. Oh my goodness. So there you go. There's a big wrap up of Madonna. I do think that this is going to blow more open. So here it comes, guys. Let me know what you think of this down below. Have a good morning, afternoon, or evening wherever you are, and I'll be back as soon as I possibly can. I've got some grandchildren coming up to stay for a couple of days. I've got my chicken coop on the way, and I think I'm going to try and give up smoking. Wish me luck. We'll see how we go. Okay, guys, have a good one. Bye.